This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Holy Week for Christians comes as the COVID-19 pandemic continues around the world. Our Lisa Sugar talks with the local priest about the Easter season and more next. Hi friends, I'm Ken Carr and I'm happy to be with you today. Thank you so much for watching, and let's get to today's local information. Today is Good Friday, the day Christians believe Jesus Christ died on the cross. Lisa Sugar has an interview now with a Catholic priest about Holy Week, hope, and perspective.
Holy Week is upon us, today being Good Friday. I'm pleased to be joined by Father Alan Hoffa, who is the head of school for Marian Catholic High School in Tamaqua. He is also the pastor of St. Joseph Parish of the Panther Valley in Summit Hill. I'm glad I got that title correct, Father. The Easter season is here and upon us. Do you feel that since many of the churches are now open, that many people can breathe a sigh of relief, go back to church and see some normalcy and be able to worship the way they would like to?
Well, I think that, in one way, it's great that people are able to get back to, but at the same time, I think it's a great opportunity for us to learn from the lesson that I think has been taught to a lot of people, because we as Americans, as human beings, we can get caught into patterns of comfortability and complacency. And so one of the things within faith is that people think, well, it's always going to be there. I'm going to be able to walk into a church and I'm going to be able to pray, or I'm going to be able to do this. And when we have those things that we can sometimes take for granted, then we fall into patterns of living that really don't send us in a direction of doing it to the fullest, because we think it's always going to be there. And one of the things that this pandemic has taught us, that in a moment, it may not be there because of, again, a worldwide pandemic, another situation of health or sickness or whatever the case may be. So while people are, quote, getting back to somewhat of a normalcy, I think that it's also an opportunity for us to capitalize on this Easter, that this is an opportunity to make, in terms of that priority order of what we do and how we do it, faith at the top, not taking it for granted because of how it's sort of the trickle-down effect and how it informs every other aspect of my life, and to make that an important reality. And Easter is the best time to do that, because we're reminded the resurrection of Jesus is so much in all of the events regarding between Holy Thursday last night, Good Friday today, and then the celebrations of Easter, why it is so important, and that that's the core of who we are and what we do.
For those who may not be familiar with the significance of what we call the Easter Triduum, can you give us a brief synopsis of what this means for members of the Christian faith?
So Holy Thursday is usually what we associate with the institution of the Eucharist. The Last Supper, Jesus gathered with his apostles in the upper room, and that institution of the Eucharist given to the church, this is my body, this is my blood, do this in memory of me, is something that the church has kept active for 2,000 years. And that leads us on that Holy Thursday evening into our Lord's agony in the Garden of Gethsemane. And when the Roman soldiers come to take Jesus to the Praetorium so that he can be judged by Pilate. And we know again then today, Good Friday, all of the events are leading up to that 3 o'clock hour when Jesus dies on the cross. And so again, depending on which denomination of Christianity, there are different ways in which this is remembered and celebrated. In Catholic churches, we especially have the Stations of the Cross, and so we have that intimate knowledge of all of the things leading from Jesus's condemnation all the way through to his dying on the cross and being buried, that puts us in that state of sadness and of mourning. But then we start to move through the process of hope, because as he said himself, on the third day, I will rise from the dead. So Holy Saturday we sort of move through that preparation phase. We know that Jesus's body was prepared, and in a lot of especially parishes that have ethnic backgrounds, especially Eastern European backgrounds, there's things like the blessing of the Easter baskets and preparation of different things in preparation for the Easter Sunday meal and the joy of the resurrection. And we carry into Easter Sunday, where we're with great joy excited to celebrate the fact that what Jesus said he would do, he did, which is not only to minister, to suffer, and to die, but to also rise. And it's a great learning lesson for us, even, or I should say, especially in light of this pandemic, that there is always a resurrection. So all of the struggles and pains that we've been suffering over this past year because of the pandemic, there is a resurrection. Even with some of our beloved family members, friends, people that we know dying because of this pandemic, there is still a resurrection. And for those who have died, it's of course the glory of heaven. And for us, it's opportunities and new ways of life in the practice of our faith and the enculturation of our faith in everyday living.
Today's news feature is brought to you by The Cheese Store and more. Come in and order slices of their Easter pie, and don't forget to check out their Facebook page for weekly specials.
Thank you, Lisa. The City of Hazleton held their drive-through Easter celebration on Tuesday. The event was well attended. Check out this line of cars to see the Easter Bunny and get some candy and treats from local organizations and the Hazleton Fire and Police Departments. These photos are from Standard Speaker photographer Dave Butcher.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
Here's our weekend forecast from the National Weather Service. On Saturday, it's sunny with a high in the 40s. Saturday night, mostly cloudy with a low in the 30s. On Easter Sunday, it's mostly sunny with a high in the 50s. On Sunday night, it's mostly clear with a low in the 30s. Monday is sunny with a high in the 50s. Monday night, mostly clear with a low in the 30s. And then on Tuesday, it's mostly sunny with a high near 60 degrees. Before we go to break, a reminder that the Lehigh Valley Health Network COVID-19 vaccine scheduling hotline is open 7 days a week to help you schedule an appointment when you're eligible for the vaccine. You can also schedule your appointment with the MyLVHN app or at mylvhn.org. Coming up, we have a clip from our locally produced Mass for Inspiration in the SSPTV Spotlight. Plus, we have a sports feature with the MMI Prep baseball team and some information on what to do about the bugs that come our way during the warmer months.
Good evening, everyone. Here's today's Talk of the Town. The 17th annual Icebreaker Golf Outing will be held on Friday, April 30th, with registration starting at 11 a.m. and a shotgun start at 12 noon. The event will be at Eagle Rock Resort and will be $75 per player. If you are 16 years or older and would like to audition for the 4th annual NEPA Sings competition, you are asked to sign up for the April 10th auditions online at luzerncasa.org. Fork Over Love, a new nonprofit that supports independent restaurants while feeding the community, will have a food distribution event on Wednesday, April 7th at Holy Rosary Church from 4:30 to 5:30 p.m. To reserve a meal, you can visit forkoverlove.org. The 5th annual Keystone Fine Art exhibit will take place in the main gallery of the Walk-In Art Center in Schuylkill Haven on April 3rd and run through April 17th. For more information, you can visit walkinartcenter.org. Please note that applications for the Hazleton Rotary Memorial Scholarship are currently available. There will be 3 scholarships given out this year. Deadlines for the applications to be in are April 28th. Today's social report is brought to you by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory. Call 570-788-0977 or go to harmonfuneral.com. And that's today's Talk of the Town.